Hi, everyone. Welcome to our latest webinar, Future Proof Your DR Strategy with Snap. Before we get started, I would like to inform you that this webinar is being recorded. So first off, a big thank you for joining us today. My name is Frank Lee. I'm the Global Head of Independent Agencies at Snapchat. Elizabeth?
Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth O'Connor. I'm part of Snap's Revenue Partnerships team, and I'm responsible for our new agency partner program. Before Snap, I spent time at Apple Enterprise, and prior to that, I was at Meta working exclusively with DR-focused performance advertisers. And I'm also a millennial who's been a daily Snap user since 2012. So excited to talk to you today.
I love it. We also have a very special guest, Darren Daltorio, VP of Paid Social at W Promote. So he'll be joining us towards the end here. So to get started, we know the past few weeks may have been a whirlwind, and we hope you're doing well with all the recent shifts in the advertising landscape. With so much change and uncertainty, many of you might be wondering how to keep reaching new customers and ensure your campaigns continue to run smoothly. Well, you're in the right place. We're going to explore how you can diversify your acquisition strategy with Snap and how we can support your goals. But before we dive in, I want to start by sharing a little bit of my own journey with Snap's DR products. Prior to Snap, most recently, I ran my own performance marketing agency, where I worked closely with high-growth e-commerce brands to drive sales in today's complex advertising landscape. Now, you might be wondering, what brought me to Snap? Well, over the last few Snap earnings calls, Evan, our CEO, really emphasized Snap's investments in performance marketing. So naturally, it piqued my interest. I ran some test campaigns on Snap, and the results really caught my attention. These tests drove incremental sales and revenue for my clients, and I was really fascinated. Fast forward to today, I'm now thrilled to be a part of the team. As I mentioned earlier, it's challenging to build and scale a profitable business. In my role, I talk to a lot of brands and performance marketers, and I keep hearing the same recurring themes. Many of you are uncomfortably over-reliant on just one or two ad channels. Rising costs are making the old playbook unsustainable. And more than ever, there is a need for channel diversification. At Snap, we see these challenges as opportunities to help you win. Today, I'm excited to show you how Snap's DR solutions are uniquely positioned to address these challenges so you can grow your business and your clients' businesses more efficiently and sustainably. So here's what you can expect today. We'll start by helping you understand why Snapchat is uniquely positioned to connect you with the customers you want to reach. Next, we'll show you how you can get results with Snap Direct Response, diving into the tools and the strategies that help you drive measurable performance. Then we'll show you how to easily onboard and transition your ads, making it simple to get started and integrate seamlessly into your existing campaigns. And then finally, we'll hear from our agency partner, W Promote, during what I call Real Talk, where Darren will share his insights and experiences working with Snap to achieve their DR goals. So let's get started. First off, I'd like to dig in to why Snapchat is uniquely positioned to connect you with the customers you want to reach. For those of you in the room, chances are you're familiar with Snapchat. But if not, the first thing you should know is that we have scale. 850 million people in the world use Snapchat every month. 453 million people use our app every single day, which has grown consistently quarter over quarter. And there's 100 million daily active users in North America on Snap. So what's driving this growth? Why are people using our app every day? We believe that people yearn for real, authentic connections. Snapchat is overwhelmingly used to connect with close friends and family. Snapchat users know that when you're surrounded by the people you care about, without the pressure to be polished or perfect, it really is different. By the way, how is my angle? Now, whether or not you're familiar with Snap, you should know we are testing a new and simplified version for Snapchat for select users this quarter. We've gone from 5 tabs down to 3. As always, Snap still opens to the camera. On the left is Chat, home for all Snapchat conversations. Stories are now on the top of the conversations, making it easier to share and communicate. And on the right is a personalized content feed for you. This redesign organizes the app around communicating with friends, using the camera, and watching snaps from friends in the broader community, including creators and publishers. Now, our unique approach centered around authenticity and connection has helped us create a massive and growing audience that is difficult to reach elsewhere. 78% of Snapchatters over 16 are not on Pinterest on a daily basis. 52% of Snapchatters are not on YouTube on a daily basis. 40% of US Snapchatters are not on TikTok. 37% of US Snapchatters are not on Facebook on a daily basis. So it truly is a unique and incremental channel. You know, with the uncertainty in the ads world in the past few weeks, I'm guessing you're here today because you're looking for new or alternative ways to reach customers. Here's where our audience means to you. On Snapchat, you have an opportunity to connect with 75% of 13 to 34-year-olds across more than 25 countries. Now, you may think Snapchat is just for Gen Z. Think again. In fact, 1 in 4 of our users are now 35 years or older. They've grown up with our app. This means you can effectively reach both Gen Z and millennials on Snap. And these folks are important to note as they have tremendous spending power. They are the audience who are now your customers. So they've aged up. We've gone from entertainment to utility with users that have high purchasing power. And they're turning to Snapchat more than any other app to get feedback from close friends on purchase decisions. We all know word of mouth marketing is super important, and you get that on Snapchat. So that's a little bit about the consumer side. As you can see, we have scale. But we're here because you care about performance of your ads. So now I'm going to hand it over to Elizabeth to take us through the next section.
Awesome. Thanks, Frank. I always love to see those user stats. I think I'm the perfect example of someone who joined Snap at a young age, and I've, grown up with the platform and now been on it for nearly 13 years, which is crazy. So I can personally attest to the power of Snap ads. My credit card does not thank me. But yeah, Snap has really been on a journey over the last 2 years to transform the business. So I think as the digital ad environment continues to change, we've been talking to customers and agencies like yourselves to understand, your advertising goals, your expectations from the platform, and we've worked really tirelessly to evolve our technology. So today we're proud to say that we've totally revamped our ad products to make sure they deliver for the clients and agencies that we serve, thanks to some key foundational investments we've made to improve our direct response ads. We've made a lot of progress in 3 key areas. Over the last 2 years, we've almost completely rebuilt significant areas of our ad stack. And our primary focus has been on moving from an ad platform that provides great breadth, so reaching a wide audience at scale at a low cost, to one that also offers great depth. And to us, that means reaching the right person with the right ad at the right time and delivering effective and efficient outcomes across all parts of the marketing funnel. So in other words, while in the past, I think we were set up to deliver a large quantity of interactions, we're now focused on the quality of those interactions and the outcomes they produce. So at a high level, we've made 3 key foundational investments across the entirety of our ad stack. The first is improved ad formats. The second is improved data signals. And the third is new web and app-based performance solutions. And our advertisers are seeing results. In Q1 of 2024 alone, we saw more than 75% increase in purchase-related conversions year over year. And just last quarter, our app-based purchase optimizations grew 70% year over year. To say this work has been a top priority would be a huge understatement. The majority of our revenue here at Snap now comes from direct response advertising, so our success is directly linked to yours. Now, let's dig a little bit deeper into the foundational improvements we've made to redesign our ad formats. So, for those of you who may not be familiar with Snap's offerings or need a quick refresher, let me give you the rundown of some of our performance-driven products. So, first we have Snap ads on the left. These are full screen, single image or video ads designed to grab attention and drive real results. In the center, we have story ads. These appear right alongside popular content. They feel very organic and seamlessly integrated into a Snapchatter's experience. And of course, we have the Snapchat AR shopping lenses. If you're a Snap user at all, I'm sure you've seen these. This is a really exciting format. Lenses actually allow our advertisers to immerse users in the brand experience so they can try on products, engage with your story through the Snap camera. And ultimately, our goal is to help you connect with the right audience in the most engaging way possible through these formats. So let's talk about what's new. I'm so excited to talk to you today about one of our newest ad units, which is sponsored snaps. Yes, Snap has finally monetized our chat tab, and this is already our largest single day reach product. So in Q4, sponsored snaps delivered more than 50 million daily impressions on average to US Snapchatters over the age of 18. You can think of sponsored snaps primarily as a new placement for the Snap ad format that we already know and love. And chat represents a really huge opportunity for us. This is a large amount of net new ad inventory that can drive strong direct response performance and that has not been monetized until now, as I mentioned. So, how it works, the user receives a snap from the brand, just like they would from a friend or family member. And when they click on it, it opens to a full screen ad with a call to action. So they can click that, link out to the website. Once they click on it, there's also a one-on-one chat that can be available between the brand and the Snapchatter. You can pre-program an automatic response there. And in the chat, you can also add a follow-up video or image or written message. We're looking into offering more robust chat experiences over time as well with different options in there. But if you're a Snap user, you may have received a sponsored Snap over the last couple of months. This is a product that was in a very tightly closed alpha. Then it was in beta. And I think as of February 6th, it is fully rolled out to advertisers who are bidding on the pixel purchase goal via the auction with 7.0 delivery optimization. And more goals will be available in Q2. Let's talk about creator ads. So this can be launched as a Snap ad or a story ad. I think we all know how fast the creator ecosystem has been growing, and creators have a tremendous impact across the funnel, especially when it comes to commerce outcomes. In Q4 alone, we actually saw a 40% increase in the number of creators posting content on Snap. We've made a huge investment in supporting our creators and growing this format, and it's really paying off for our advertisers. We've also made it more seamless than ever for brands to turn organic content from creators into ads. So our partnership ad code, this is a unique ad code that your creator partners can share with advertisers, enabling brands to quickly and easily turn UGC into paid media. We've also refreshed our creator marketplace. So this makes sourcing and connecting with a diverse pool of creators, verified Snap stars and others, a super simple process. Brands can easily search for creators in the toolbar there and find who they're looking for. And building on that, we have also added a place for brands to find relevant creator content. So organic discovery, this is another relevant tool. It helps brands find creator trends, popular content, and relevant keywords via search. So if you're looking for content about your brand, maybe looking to use it as UGC, this is the place to go to search for it and find what you're looking for. And last but not least, I do want to highlight some major improvements to our lead gen solutions. So for B2B clients and similar ones, this has been a huge, huge format, particularly our native lead form. So enhancements to this product offering led to a 6x increase in the number of leads generated year over year in Q4 of 2024 alone. The University of Idaho is a great example here. This advertiser leveraged our native lead form to successfully engage prospective students, so much so that 69% of their student conversions came from Snapchat, which is pretty crazy. Snap lead ads have helped a lot of lower funnel advertisers to better capture data for re-engagement and drive conversions across the board. And now I'll hand it back over to Frank to talk about some data signals.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Okay. Thank you for that. So next, data signals. We've made significant improvements to our data signals through the Snap Conversions API, or CAPI, which I'll dive deeper into shortly. But why is this important? Because we want to give marketers like you a more accurate and privacy-preserving way to measure and optimize your campaigns. By investing in these tools, we're helping you maximize performance while staying ahead of industry changes in privacy. Now, we all know the seismic changes that happened in 2021 due to iOS 14. This ensures you can confidently measure results and make data-driven decisions for your Snapchat campaigns. So this slide might sound a little technical at first glance, but here's the takeaway. If Snap's full stack ad solutions are the toast, CAPI is the butter. It makes everything better. Sorry for the dad joke. Snap's Conversions API is a structured, privacy-centric interface that allows you to directly pass web, app, or offline events to Snap via server-to-server integration. This helps our system to optimize your ad campaigns, improve your targeting, and measure the conversions that resulted from your Snapchat campaigns. We understand how critical it is for lower funnel marketers to measure and optimize campaign performance while maintaining data privacy. And CAPI has delivered proven results. Web advertisers who integrate the Snap Pixel alongside CAPI see immediate improvements of 20 to 25% in attributed purchases, purchase value, and CPA. Here's a real-world example of the Snapchat Conversions API delivering results. A leading beauty brand integrated CAPI into their conversions campaigns, and the impact was remarkable. They achieved a 504% improvement in their return on ad spend compared to the previous year. That's material. But we all know that implementing new solutions can sometimes feel daunting and complex. That's why we've teamed up with leading third parties to help their customers adopt CAPI. These partnerships mean fewer hours and fewer technical resources to get you started. In some cases, customers have been able to implement CAPI in a matter of minutes. So far, the record is under 10 minutes. It makes it easy. I also want to highlight one of our biggest improvements, our Shopify integration. In 2023, we completely revamped how our pixel is deployed for Shopify merchants. If you previously hard-coded your pixel, we recommend removing it and installing it through the Shopify App Store for a more seamless experience. Even more exciting is the launch of S2S, essentially Conversions API for Shopify merchants. This enhanced signal strength will be crucial in helping our algorithms find the right customers at the right time to drive action. Guys, I can't stress this enough. CAPI is table stakes to maximize your returns. So when you add CAPI, you also improve your signals. We launched a new and improved version of our Event Quality Score, EQS, which will help partners understand CAPI and pixel signal strength with greater precision. In addition to a new version of EQS, we also added personalized recommendations to make it easier for you to understand how to help improve your signals. So we've given you all the tools you need to maximize signal strength and deliver value for your customers. So that's the update on signals. Elizabeth, over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Frank. So now that we've covered our ad formats and data signals, we want to talk about the third pillar of our ad stack improvement, which is our performance solutions. So over the past year, we've rolled out a lot of updates, which are designed to improve conversion performance. So this includes new optimization windows, updated bidding solutions. We've really just been focused on delivering solutions that directly impact return on ad spend for our advertisers and for our agencies. So the first update on this front, as I mentioned, we have our 7.0 delivery optimization window. We actually launched this roughly a year ago, but this is a really important offering that we want to make sure you're aware of, especially if you have any advertisers who rely on third-party web analytics tools or an alternative to view through conversions when they're measuring performance. So during our testing, 7.0 optimization resulted in increased click-through conversion volume, lower cost per purchase, and a higher return on ad spend. In Q1 of 2024 alone, we saw more than 75% increase in purchase-related conversions year over year. And on the right, you'll see 7.0 optimization in action with Javi. So this client was able to lower their customer acquisition cost by 42% and increase their number of purchases by 318%, which is a crazy number. So we've come a long way from just a few years ago, and I know there's still a lot of progress to be made, but I think if there's anything we'd want you to take away, it's that Snap is really deeply focused on solving your challenges when it comes to competing for attention and dollars. We know how competitive it is out there, and we do have a really robust audience of super highly engaged users. We want to help agencies drive sales throughout the funnel for their clients. And another exciting update is around bidding. So we'll soon be offering broader access to a new version of our target cost bidding solution. This is currently showing huge success for our web DR advertisers who are optimizing for pixel purchase events. So target cost, it aims to keep your average CPA within 20% of your bid. So you can scale with high budgets, but trust that your CPA won't overshoot your target. This is a really great middle ground for advertisers who are kind of looking to split the difference between the scale of auto bid and that hard cost cap of max bid. So we're rolling this out in Q2 to our app advertisers. Now, you might be thinking that it can be daunting to start up on another platform, but Snap has actually made it really easy to onboard and transition your existing ads from other platforms. So first, our vertical video specs are actually really closely aligned with those of other major platforms. You don't need to produce brand new assets. We make it really easy to repurpose your existing creative, including UGC assets that you've already developed. We also offer Snap Publisher, which we've screenshotted at the bottom here. I've used this tool myself. It is really not talked about enough. Publisher makes it so easy and fast to create videos for your ads, either from one of our templates or from scratch. So with Snap Publisher, you can pull assets directly from a website. Even static images can be incorporated. You can convert pre-existing horizontal videos into vertical video. You can enhance with design elements like text, audio, images, and animations. And you can generate multiple variations of creatives and customize them by audience to learn what performs best. So this is available to everyone today. Reach out to your Snap rep and they can help you get started with Publisher. Oh, I see we have a question in the chat, but I think we're supposed to wait till the end for questions. But thank you, Brian. All right. And finally, campaign setup. So we want to make it really simple for you to set up your campaign for success. So we've published 5 proven DR best practices. Again, this is all available via your Snap rep, and we really encourage you to talk to them to set up one-on-one time to optimize campaigns. So first, signal optimization. We strongly recommend adopting CAPI, as Frank said. This just helps to improve data accuracy and performance. And as we mentioned earlier, we do have these partnerships with these top third-party platforms to make the CAPI integration really seamless, minimal to no coding required. We want it to be as out of the box as possible. From a bidding standpoint, as we just touched on, target cost bidding is a really great way to ensure that your campaign stays within budget while still optimizing for your goal. And of course, we still have auto bid, which helps you maximize efficiency and results throughout your entire campaign by automatically adjusting those bids in real time. Third, 7.0 attribution. We recommend using that 7.0 optimization window to ensure your campaign is measuring performance accurately. Targeting, we recommend you leverage broad targeting, especially at first during that critical learning phase. This just allows our system to find and convert the highest intent users and help you scale efficiently. And finally, ad formats. To drive the best performance, we do suggest allocating at least 75% of your spend to that Snap ad format. This format consistently delivers strong results across DR campaigns. And as I mentioned, that sponsored stories product that's brand new this year is a form of Snap ads as well via the auction. And I will hand it back to Frank for some Q&A.
All right, thank you. So, guys, as you can see, we've done a lot on the consumer side to build up the scale that build upon the scale that we already have. We've also built stronger DR products after many years of research. So we believe we have product market fit for DR. But don't just take it from us. Now comes the good part where we get to have a real talk. So once again, I'd like to introduce Darren, VP of Paid Social at W Promote. Thanks for joining us, Darren.
Hello, happy to be here. Appreciate it.
I love it. So, before we get started, I'd love for you just to give a quick lens into who W Promote is and what you do at the agency.
Yeah, so W Promote is a full service digital marketing and advertising agency. We have offices across the United States. I am VP of our paid social media team. So in that capacity, I work directly with number one, our team to ensure what we're doing for clients, how we're showing up, the strategies, the tactics we're employing are best in class. Number two, it's clients and the brands we work with, ensuring we're in lockstep with them, their business goals, their success. And then number three, it's just making sure that we're keeping a finger on the pulse of innovation, where the industry's going, having unique point of view, so we're able to add and create value in that way. And in terms of client profile, we work with tons of performance marketers, a lot of fashion, a lot of retail, a lot of CPG, app download and install, really heavy focus in brands that are selling physical product or looking to have customers take an action that is measurable based on their ad performance. And we're increasingly seeing that across the funnel, not just at the bottom of the funnel. So yeah, that's a little kind of sampling of what I do, what we do, and how we help our brands day in and day out.
So you're saying DR.
I've been around the block a
Okay.
time or two
I love it.
with respect to a QBR. So yeah.
Alrighty. So let me get into some of the questions. To start, what are some of the biggest challenges you and your clients are facing in today's digital advertising landscape? And how can Snap's DR products help you solve those challenges?
Yeah, I mean, just quickly zoom out to zoom in. This space, in the long kind of grand scheme of things, is still relatively new and nascent. I started buying ads on social media in 2012. And, albeit it's 13 years since then, there's still so much ahead of us. Like there's so much evolution and innovation happening in the space. So I'd say on the timeline, we're still in the early stages of the game and it's changing so fast. If the start of this year is any indication on how fast things can change, I mean, we're just getting warmed up. So with that in mind, the challenges are in the pace. The challenges are in keeping up to pace with the changes, with the velocity of those changes, and how those changes can drastically impact, what businesses are doing and how they're using these tools. I think with that in mind, proving results remains a consistent challenge. There's constant shifts to privacy, compliance, attribution and measurement, data, signal. The thing that we kind of say is like in Silicon Valley, when the giants shuffle their feet, we get we get rattled down here at the bottom, and we have to adjust and adapt and pivot. And so we're constantly in a state of pivoting and adjusting, and agility is really important. And I know we'll talk about that a little bit today. Another hurdle outside of proving results and measuring those results is the creative velocity and volume that it takes to be like competitive, successful in these spaces. I know I'm actually on site in San Diego with the brand today, and we just got out of the session, and the whole session was centered around creative velocity and creative differentiation and how to keep pace and navigate the bandwidth constraints that show up in-house at brands and even working with partners. So I think that's a big theme and one that is admittedly tough to solve, but it's sort of table stakes for success is having the right creative. And then the last thing is really the data and the signals and the measurement. So the session today has been amazing. I love the depth and the focus on things like CAPI. To us, that's a kind of table stakes at this point. When you prioritize implementing CAPI, prioritize that server side configuration, you are sending back the most high quality signals that you can to these systems and to these tools. And when you set yourself up for success at that foundational level, you are increasing your chance to obviously, drive results. And the thing that we like to say in terms of prioritization is like, if you knew there was a reward for you right on the other side of a door, and all you had to do was expend the energy to get off the couch and go open the door, would you not go do that versus just staring at the reward through the glass? And we see a lot of brands kind of go like, yeah, we know CAPI's a thing, but there's a roadblock, it's a backlog in our tech stack. Like you can implement it quickly. There are solutions to get it done and get it done fast and get it done effectively. Prioritize it because instead of staring at the reward through the glass, you can actually like go grab the reward. Every dollar that you invest into these systems with CAPI underpinning it is going to be a higher performing dollar. So
Yeah.
do it, prioritize it.
I love those points. I mean, you saw it earlier. People are seeing 20 to 25% improvements when they implement CAPI. And that's just one tactic just to kind of overnight, you should see efficiency. I always think integrating CAPI is like getting better prescription glasses. Like you can just see better. You can allocate your dollars better
Yeah,
if you get it right. And the creative volume piece, you're spot on. The velocity and the volume is such a critical piece. For us, that's why we highlighted some of the creator work we're doing. It's a great way to kind of scale your efforts to produce net new content to make sure we stay
absolutely.
up and stay relevant and don't hit that creative fatigue. So I love the challenges you brought up. Let me ask you the next question here. Many advertisers are hesitant to diversify their ad spend and invest in new channels. But there's a lot of uncertainty going on in the market. So people are kind of forced to get out of their comfort zone. What would you say to those advertisers who are considering Snap today?
Yeah, I mean, this is a game of calculated risk, right? The sort of the risk involved in diversifying your media spend is a two-sided risk. On one side of that risk is like, okay, if we have familiarity with maybe investing in a certain platform or a certain tactic, we have a predictability in what we're going to get back from that tactic. So there's a safety there, there's a confidence there. That
Yeah.
being said, when things change and there's a over index in that singular integration point, well, there's the two-sided risk. Now you're caught flat-footed where you don't have options and you have to really expend a lot of energy to try to pivot or reposition your opportunities for success. So the risk in that and how you kind of hedge that risk would be to create a diverse platform to operate from. So first and foremost, if Snap is on a consideration sort of set for you, potentially thinking about it as a test and learn opportunity, or maybe you're on there, but you haven't quite found the ways to scale yet, I would say getting the foundation set up are first and foremost of priority. So get the pixel set up. Like before you spend a dollar, get the infrastructure in place, get the pixel, get CAPI installed. That way, traffic to your website's collecting data on the pixel. That way, when it comes to activating a paid strategy, for example, you have the pipes in place to be able to measure and monitor and optimize effectively. That is what's going to create the agility. So when you want to hit the go button, you can go without interruption or without friction. The next thing I would say is have a plan as it relates to your tactical rollout. So I would say like consult with Snap if you have a partner or reach out, or if you're looking for support from an agency, like I'm available. Like reach out to me. The Snap team can connect you. I'm happy to do like a consult call. If Snap, if you're a brand and this is something you're like getting, your feet wet in, the ad product configuration can be really helpful. We've run so many studies with Snap, and the thing that we find is when you run on Snap with a combination of ad products, it actually helps to improve results. We've seen lift in overall performance with a combination of ads. So if
Mm.
you're selling like physical products in fashion, CPG, beauty, accessories, anything of that regard, I would recommend going live with Snap ads and having your dynamic product ads underpinning the Snap ad strategy. This is a really, really nice like 1-2 combo where you can do some like brand storytelling. You can leverage existing assets from potentially your, Meta Instagram campaigns or even TikTok. As we just talked about, there's easy ways to port those assets over and get started quickly. And then you can leverage your product feeds. So in those same kind of like tried and true dynamic formats, you can bring that same tactic right into Snap and have a 1-2 combination of products that set yourself up for success. So get the foundations in place, understand that to be agile is to be ready, and then use what you have and have a plan to get started. So you have a real way to jump in with some hedged risk and start to take advantage of the opportunities that Snap has for you.
Yeah. That's a great insight. I love how you guys have done so much trial and error and you have a formula of the various surfaces and ad products that seem to drive the outcomes you need. So on that note, how does Snap compare to other social media platforms in terms of DR capabilities? And what does make us unique? What are the unique benefits that Snap offers to advertisers?
Yeah, I mean, Snap is, as we talked about, like I'm in that same boat where I think I started my Snap account in 2010, 2011. So I'm
11.
one of those people who, yeah, who've like grown up with the platform,
Yeah.
and with that in mind, there's a real maturity to the ad products and the systems on Snap. So in terms of parity with what you're going to get in other social, media buying paid products, they're right on par. The Pixel is advanced. CAPI is available. You have full range of ad stack from premium ad inventory, premium placements, all the way down to the more direct response performing ad placement. So I think if you're looking in a comparative lens at like, well, am I sacrificing like UGC creators? I mean, Snap stars are growing and emerging. That whole like sector of the market is alive and well and high performing on Snap. So there is tons of parity there when you look at, relation to other platforms. But you get some sweet secret sauce and some sweet spots within Snap that I think are very unique to both the audiences on Snap and also the products available on Snap. from an audience perspective, when you touched on it in the presentation today, which is awesome, and this is one of the things we love about Snap, it's a largely unduplicated reach. There is a very unique audience profile on Snap that is really exciting to be in front of. So if you're looking for like new ways to scale, if you're looking to diversify your addressable audiences within your media mix and your plan, Snap is a great place for unduplicated reach. The secondary piece is from an ad product standpoint. We love the Lens products. It's been a product that we've seen tremendous success with. We've used accessory brands have used lenses, footwear brands have used lenses, cosmetics brands have used lenses. So we've seen the use case for try on within the camera kit, and the barrier of entry, because those used to be hard to build, expensive to deploy. The barrier of entry has come down tremendously on getting a lens built and integrated into the app. So I would say reconsider the kind of sweet spot that that affords. And then when you're thinking about sort of this like high engagement, potential high virality, the way Snap is a conversation platform, people share these lenses. We had a client that was actually featured at Snap Performance Summit because their lens that we launched for them, it was an eyewear company with a glasses try on, went not only viral in an organic sort of engagement sense, but it also was one of the highest performing ROAS ad units that we rolled out in our spring campaign. So there's a real kind of collapse of the funnel potential when you use some of these products. And I think Snap continues to innovate, right? There is still a first mover advantage. And I'm excited to see how things like sponsored snaps really start to gain kind of traction and momentum within the conversational or messaging sort of surfaces of social media marketing. So Snap has some really high powered competitive advantages that are unique to the platform that I think maybe not aren't overlooked, but maybe are not being valued or correctly calibrated in a brand's media plan.
Yeah. Yeah. Our camera, I feel like, is second to none. It's unbelievable. And
Yeah.
it's funny you mentioned the lens piece that, like, so one thing, like, I think a curmudgeon, old school direct response marketer might question, does that lead to direct response activity? But you're saying, yes, when you do it right, it could be the best performing campaign in your portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of benefit in the sense that you have somebody in a position of experiencing your product. You're creating an experiential moment.
Yeah.
From an attention standpoint, that ability to connect, albeit in a digital but still experiential way, creates an emotional like resonance that is, undeniable. And then when somebody is going to spend their money on something, I think there's a confidence that they want to feel good about the purchase that they make. If
Hmm.
it's trying on a shade of makeup, if it's seeing how a shoe or a style kind of like sits or fits on their body, if it's seeing how the shape of a lens, a frame accentuates their facial features, these are real high powered ways to connect with someone and create value at the first touch point. So I think it's an extremely powerful product, and one that, again, with the technology advancements and the ability to build these things with less friction, is something that people should consider exploring if your product or brand, the products you sell, kind of fit the use case. It's very high impact.
And it shows up in your weekly performance reports too. Like that's like
Yeah, absolutely.
that's cool. So
Absolutely.
speaking of the reporting, kind of the measurement, getting a little bit more tactical now, what are some of the key metrics that you use to measure the success of Snap campaigns? And what kind of results have you seen, obviously outside of the lens piece?
Yeah. So, I mean, from a reporting standpoint, it's really contextual to the brand, to the purpose of the media, right? So, if
Mm,
you're talking about, in this case, performance advertising, direct response advertising, we're looking at kind of tried true CAC, cost
mhm.
per customer, ROAS. That being said,
What's your source of
we are
truth?
all,
Sorry to interrupt. What's your
yeah,
source of truth when you kind of define them?
yeah, I think it really is the brand's kind of like reporting stack, their data stack. So that's going to be usually a third party analytics, partner. Google Analytics, as an example, is a common one. Brands are increasingly using tools like a Northbeam, for example, in more sophisticated measurement models, looking to understand media mix, looking to understand multi-touch. So North Beam would be an example of that, but you can think about like a triple whale or a rocker box. Those
Mhm.
sometimes show up as source of truth. So
Yeah.
we're kind of, agnostic, if you will, in what that source is, but always just want to be speaking the same language as the client in terms of the KPI and the campaign. The thing we really want to avoid is what we'll call like KPI bleed, where if we are wanting to activate something that's in a more awareness sort of play, having that media be held to like a strict ROAS goal. If the point of the activation is to create awareness or create site traffic, we want to make
Mhm.
sure that the primary KPI aligns with the goal of that media or that activation. So is it
Yeah.
a cost per site visit? Is it a reach frequency or a straight CPM like tonnage that we want to just like optimize reach for?
Mhm.
Of course, we want to, understand media mix. We want to understand, does that have a second order effect? Does that create a holistic or a blended ROAS lift? That's going to be a secondary sort of layer. But at the end of the day, we want to use the right KPI for the job to be done. We want to be using and speaking the same language as the client. And then the last thing I'll say is we want to get as sophisticated as we possibly can. So introducing things like incrementality tests. If a brand is sophisticated and they're ready for that kind of measurable readout, that kind of structure, right? To do something like incrementality, you have to do a holdout. There's got to be kind of a give and take to understand. And sometimes brands aren't in a position to do a holdout, for example. So we have
Yeah.
to stair step our way into more sophisticated measurement, but media mix modeling, incrementality, understanding how those more sophisticated KPIs start to factor into our media mix and optimization feedback loops are kind of, at the more advanced end of the spectrum, but increasingly important in a sophisticated, multi-channel, diverse media mix brand.
Yeah, I mean, the consumer decision journey is not a logical linear path. And so to be able to assign the right KPIs based on where people are at in that funnel is the right way to do it. And on the incrementality piece, you're absolutely right. Like you have to see what's causal, not correlative. Um, and so to be able to math your way to justifying. So I presume you have that measurement framework. Snap's role, or how are we performing within that framework of measurement?
Consistently well. I think we see Snap be number one, a place where ROAS can be very, very healthy.
Mhm.
When we test into Snap or we start scaling into Snap, we tend to see that scalability can persist and can hold. And I think that has to do a lot with number one, just the volume of users on Snap, but again, the uniqueness of the user set. Secondarily, we see some of the investments that Snap has made in their own infrastructure, in the way that the app is now calibrated for example, like to open web experiences. That used to be in the past that Snap wasn't as friendly to open web experiences. But now understanding and calibrating around this more like direct response stack and the needs of what I presume are the advertisers and brands on this call is that ability to be in lockstep with the needs of the brand. So having a pixel, having that pixel and the browser preference, be able to go open web, having the 07 window for optimization to ensure that we're optimizing as close to that source of truth as possible. These are all meaningful advancements and kind of investments in the Snap product. And I think it increasingly creates an atmosphere for success where brands can invest in Snap confidently, maintain scale in Snap, and continue to see predictable outcomes within Snap's offering.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So, next question. What advice would you give to advertisers who are new to Snap and are looking to get started? Like, what are some of the best practices you'd recommend? You've dropped a few of them already, but are there any more to add?
Yeah, I mean, this is broken record, a little bit redundant, but get the pixel set up, get
Yeah.
CAPI set up. Like that
Yeah.
should be like stop one on the train is
Mhm.
just get that foundation set because that way you're just set up for success from the start or not needing to backtrack or have like burnt time. The
Yeah.
secondary piece, like we talked about, is have that plan. Understand like what assets do we have available to us that are going to help to minimize the friction to get onboarded. So leverage your vertical video assets, leverage your UGC creator assets, and leverage your catalog and your product feed. I think
Mhm.
having those things, if you're a performance marketing brand, you're selling stuff on the internet, all three of those things exist within your brand library. You can directly empower those things on Snap. And then I would say lean into the strengths of Snap as a platform. So one thing we're really excited about, I alluded to it a little bit, but just kind of double click into it, is the sponsored Snap product. You know, conversational commerce, messaging commerce, this has been buzzy for 5 to 6 years now. But the funny thing is, it hasn't really like caught fire yet. It hasn't really, there hasn't been a definitive sort of tipping point of this taking off in the US. And there hasn't been a definitive tipping point in the user experience. I think Snap is getting closer than I've seen any other kind of platform come as it relates to the integration of the sponsored Snap placement. This is, you know, a placement within the messaging infrastructure. It is, you know, something that I feel is welcomed because the users on Snap are there to be partaking in messaging. It's not an afterthought. It's not a secondary destination. It's one of the core use cases of Snap. And so having like relevance in an ad product that aligns with the reason people are there, it's not out of the way or a secondary component, that to me is powerful. So I think keeping an eye on those trends and the strengths of the platform are really important in how you show up, how you plan, and how you continue to, you know, maximize its potential.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Sponsors, I'm so bullish on sponsored snaps. I mean, it's such a greenfield opportunity in terms of monetizing one-to-one communication. And
That's what it
so much
is.
of it is going on our platform. So yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah, it is. It's an open pasture. And yeah, like it hasn't been really, the code hasn't been cracked. And so I think part of the nascency of this digital marketing stuff, the pace at which things change, is you have to be willing to kind of invest in what that future looks like and dip the toes in. And I think this is a really interesting, exciting place to have an eye kind of tuned into.
I love it. Okay, well, so the last piece, which I didn't prep you for, Darren, so I apologize in advance, but it's what I call the
Okay.
lightning round. It's called a
All
lightning
right.
round. I'm going to ask you a question, and I just want you to rattle off the first answer that comes to mind. Okay?
Okay. Let's do it. I'm
All
ready.
right. All right. Wine or coffee?
Wine.
Wine. Okay. Talk or text?
Talk.
Do you live to eat or eat to live?
Eat to live.
Eat to live. Okay. How many hours?
Actually, wait. I misunderstood that question. I think I live to eat. I'm more like the joy. I
You
want to
enjoy
answer that
food?
in the I love food, so I live to eat.
Live
That
to
is,
eat.
I
Okay.
revise my answer.
Okay. How many hours of sleep do you need?
5 to 6. I'm
Oh
good
my,
to go.
you must have kids.
I do.
Okay. Favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week. I love a Monday.
Okay.
I think Monday gets a bad rap. I like starting the day with energy. I like getting out of the door. I like,
Okay.
you know, to feel like I start the week on a high note. So I'm not a guy that lives for the weekend. I really do think Monday is a special day and deserves more respect.
I love it. Okay. Last one. Sponsored snaps or CAPI?
CAPI.
CAPI.
I just got to go CAPI. There are no sponsored snaps if you don't
Yeah.
do CAPI. You know what I mean? It's like
Yep.
you
Yep.
got to
Yep.
get the basics right before you get
Yeah.
to the advanced. So CAPI all day.
All righty. Well, Darren, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us today. Keep an eye out for an email from us. We have a survey we would love for you to fill out to give us feedback on today's session. And you may be eligible for a special offer to kick off your success at Snap. If you're eager to learn more or have any questions, reach out to your account rep. We'll be more than willing to help you out. Darren, once again, thank you very much. Elizabeth, you're a rock star. Thank you. And the rest of you guys, thank you for giving us your time today. Hope you have a good day. Bye.
Thanks, guys.